Welcome back to the Stellar Alignment Collective. This is your space to learn how you can use astrology to raise your vibration and create higher frequency energy within your home and family. And yes, that's the secret most people don't know. You can actually use planetary energy to your advantage and increase your frequency. And I'll tell you how to do that with this week's transits. Now, the astrology for this week, it's really going to bring some emotional intensity and reality checks. A fiery full moon in the sign of Aries will ignite passion and confrontation, while Mercury squaring Pluto will dig up hidden truths. And Venus opposing Saturn will test the strength of our relationships and self-worth. It will be a week of truth, of tension, but transformation. So let's start with the full moon. Are you feeling a little more fiery or reactive than usual? We will begin the week with a full moon in Aries, ruled by Mars and Scorpio. And that means that emotions are running hot, tempers are short, and words can cut deep, okay? But if you've got planets or angles around 14 degrees of Aries, Cancer, Libra, or Capricorn, I want you to buckle up, okay? Because this full moon is speaking directly to you. Now, full moons are all about culmination, release, and illumination. It's when emotions run high, and it could be that something that's been building in our lives comes into the spotlight. This full moon is lighting up themes of independence and courage, and also confrontation. Aries. Aries wants to act now, okay? While Mars, its ruler, is in the deeply emotional waters of Scorpio, which will turn up the intensity and really make it easy to lose your cool. On top of that, Mercury will be interacting with Pluto, adding another layer of raw honesty. And let's be real, with Mercury and Pluto, they're going to be sharp words, okay? And this is not the week for passive aggressive communication or bottling things up. So if something has been simmering under the surface, this full moon will really bring it out into the open. But here's the gift, okay? This energy also gives you the strength to face what has been buried and to speak your truth and to set boundaries and to reclaim your power. The key here is to stay grounded while letting the fire move through you in healthy ways. So, here are some things that you can do under this full moon that will raise your vibration. You can engage in healthy physical activity to release any tension you may be feeling. So, find a constructive way to burn this energy. For example, you can do it through swimming or exercising or dancing. Also, it's time to release fears of being too much or the fears you may have of not being enough. We can also let go of unhealthy anger patterns or any impatience that we've been feeling. And finally, you can reevaluate boundaries in your relationships and ask yourself, where am I needing more independence? Now, here are the things I want you to avoid because these things will lower your vibration. Number one, lashing out or reacting impulsively in anger. Okay. And next, also, let's avoid ignoring the perspectives or the feelings of others in our drive to be heard. We also want to make sure that we're not holding grudges instead of using this wonderful energy for release. Now, for those of you who are parents, this full moon may feel really fiery at home, okay? Because your children may be more impatient, they may be feeling more outspoken or eager to do things their way. And emotions could surface quickly and conflicts may pop up more easily. But this is also a really beautiful opportunity to teach your child about healthy self expression, courage, and balance. And here are some parenting guidelines for this full moon that will raise the frequency of your home. You can encourage your child to express their feelings with words, not with outbursts, and teach them it's okay to be mad, but it's not okay to be mean. Also, give your child a healthy outlet for their energy. A lot of them will really be feeling this, and that can be through sports, creative play, or even just running around outside and burning that energy off. Also, allow them choices that promote a sense of independence while holding boundaries that keep them safe. And finally, model calm responses. If your child is feeling fiery, they need to see and feel what steady looks like. So, this full moon in Aries, yes, it's fiery, but it's also illuminating and a little bold. And it invites all of us, parents, children, and families, to release impatience and step into courage and celebrate the ways we are learning to stand in our power while staying connected to each other. And next, on Tuesday, October 7th, Mercury at 1 degree of Scorpio will square Pluto at 1 degree of Aquarius. Now, what does this mean? Mercury is our planet of communication, thinking, and analysis. And Pluto is the planet of transformation, hidden truths, and power. And when these two clash in a square, the energy can feel intense, almost like a mental tug of war. And conversations may feel charged, secrets might rise to the surface, and our thoughts can be laser focused, maybe even a little obsessive, okay? This isn't lighthearted energy. It's very deep, it's probing and transformative. And if we work with it consciously and intentionally, it can bring breakthroughs, clarity, and even healing. Now, those of you with planets or angles around 1 degree of the fixed signs, and those are going to be Scorpio, Aquarius, Leo, and Taurus, you guys are going to feel this the most. So check your chart, please, so you can see what energy you're working with. All right. Now, what should we do around this time of the week to use this energy to the highest potential to raise our vibration? I want you to speak your truth with compassion, all right? Yes, honesty is important, but I want you to deliver it with care. Also, release old thought patterns. So, if your mind is stuck in a loop, try meditation or breath work or writing it out and letting it go. Also, stay grounded. The mental energy can feel really overwhelming. So, I want you to take a walk. I want you to breathe and connect with your body. And finally, use discernment with secrets. If something hidden is coming up, pause before you reveal it because timing and intention really matter. Now, here are some things I want you to avoid so that you don't lower your vibration with this energy. Don't force your point or argue with someone just to win. Also, don't reveal sensitive information recklessly. And finally, don't use manipulative communication just to get your way. So, October 7th, around this time of the week, it's going to be a day of really a lot of mental intensity. It can feel heavy, but it's also an opportunity. Mercury square Pluto says, look deeper, seek the truth, and allow your thoughts to transform. So, if you stay mindful, this can be a turning point in how you think and how you speak and how you connect with others. So, as you're moving through this transit, I want you to ask yourself, am I speaking from a place of fear or am I speaking from a place of truth? That's the key to working with this powerful energy. I want you to stay steady, stay curious, and let this be a moment of transformation. For those of you who are parents, okay, Mercury squaring Pluto, children will feel this energy too, especially in how they communicate and how they hold back or how they test authority. So, this is a day where children may ask really tough questions or they may want to push buttons or bring up their deepest fears. So, as a parent, here's how you can use this energy to raise the frequency of your home. Listen more than you speak. Your children may want to share something sensitive, so create a safe, judgment-free space for them to do that. Also, model calm communication. Show your child how to express strong emotions without using harsh words. And we also want to make sure that we are teaching healthy boundaries and reminding our child that it's okay not to share everything right away. Now, here's what we want to avoid so that we don't lower the frequency in our homes. We don't want to dismiss our child's questions or fears because they're only going to dig deeper. And we want to avoid power struggles because arguments may spiral out of control very quickly. And try not to use scare tactics or manipulation to control behavior, parents, all right? And finally, let's talk about Saturday, October the 11th, when Venus at 26 degrees of Virgo will form an opposition to Saturn at 26 degrees of Pisces. So Venus represents love, harmony, pleasure, and connection. And in the sign of Virgo, she wants things to be pure, precise, and perfect. Saturn, on the other hand, represents boundaries, structure, lessons, and at times, limitations. So when these two planets oppose each other, we can feel tension in our relationships. Like we want closeness, but there may be walls or responsibilities or fear that's standing in the way. And this can show up as feeling unappreciated or lonely or even overly self critical. So it's a time when love can feel like work, and we may doubt whether we are enough or whether others are giving us enough. But here's the gift: Saturn asks us to look deeper. Relationships that can handle responsibility and maturity will grow stronger, okay? And Venus reminds us that compassion softens even the hardest lessons. Those of you with planets or angles around 26 degrees of Virgo, Pisces, Gemini, and Sagittarius, you guys are going to feel this energy the most. So, what should we do under the energy of this transit? Here are some things that will help you to raise your frequency. I want you to practice self-love and remind yourself of your worth. And even if you're feeling pressure or criticism, I want you to know that you matter. Also, set healthy boundaries. Balance caring for others with caring for yourself. So you also need to be at the top of your list. Also, remember to communicate clearly and kindly. If you feel restricted or you feel hurt, I want you to express it calmly instead of holding it in. Now, here are things I want you to avoid. These things will lower your vibration and the vibration of those around you. Try not to nitpick or dwell on flaws in yourself or others. Also, let's avoid withholding affection as punishment. And try not to let perfectionism keep you from enjoying simple love and connection with those around you. For those of you who are parents, this week's energy may feel a little bit heavier emotionally, okay? Venus, the planet of love, connection, and affection, is going to be opposing Saturn, all right? And this opposition can bring up feelings of emotional distance or rejection or even disappointment, both for us and for our children. So if you or your child, if you're feeling a little bit more sensitive or withdrawn, or critical of yourself, this transit could be the reason. So Venus really wants warmth and ease, while Saturn is asking us for discipline and accountability. And when these two are facing off, it's really about learning how to love responsibly with a sense of boundaries and compassion. So parents, this is the key theme for this transit. It's going to be love through structure. So this is a time to model healthy emotional boundaries. You might notice that your child is craving more reassurance or struggling with self-esteem. Saturn can make us feel that love has to be earned. So it's important to remind your child that your love is always unconditional, even when limits are enforced. Now, for teenagers, this can manifest as feelings of loneliness or social comparison. They may pull away or they may act out when they're really feeling insecure. So I want you to remember, parents, to be gentle but consistent, okay? Because Venus opposing Saturn invites us to show love through steadiness rather than through a sense of indulgence. So, here are some things you can do to raise the frequency of your home. Balance discipline with compassion. So, Saturn asks for structure, but Venus reminds us to deliver it with kindness. Also, parents, let's try to avoid comparisons. Each child's journey is unique, and comparing them to their siblings or peers can really hurt deeply right now. And finally, I want you to offer reassurance. So remind your child you are loved exactly as you are. You don't have to be perfect in order to be worthy of my love. Parents, here are some things we want to avoid. Okay, we want to avoid withholding affection out of a sense of punishment. We don't want to compare our child to others or make them feel that our love is conditional. And also, we want to avoid being overly critical because Saturnian energy can really heighten that sense of perfectionism or needing everything to be perfect. So, this Venus Saturn opposition is a cosmic reminder that real love grows stronger through accountability and respect and compassion. It's not about perfection, it's about showing up with steadiness even when things feel strained. So, if emotions run cool this week, I don't want you to panic. It's just the universe inviting you and your family to build stronger emotional foundations. So, love with patience, speak with kindness, and remember that gentle consistency is what helps relationships and children thrive under this influence. So, as we move through this powerful week, remember the skies are asking for balance. If emotions run high or conversations feel challenging, take a step back and breathe. These energies are not here to punish, they are here to purify, and they're helping you to release old patterns, to speak your truth, and strengthen the bonds that truly matter. So, if you found this information helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need these insights. And don't forget, you can always join me in the Stellar Alignment Collective for deeper astrology guidance and community support. Until next time, may you move through these transits with courage, compassion, and stellar alignment. And may the planetary forces always be with you.